Before you even reach the feeder, the crow has already turned toward you. Nothing loud has happened yet, but the bird is already watching the route. To you, it feels like a morning chore. To a crow, it may be a pattern. If you know what to look for, the clues are surprisingly visible. Sometimes the first clue is not the crow moving, but the crow waiting. Crows are not spooky visitors, they are careful watchers of a living yard. A chickadee may dart to seed, but a crow often studies the whole scene. The first thing a crow may learn is where you usually enter the yard. Same door, same steps, same turn toward the feeder can become a signal. It does not need to come close to learn from you. A crow may also learn the outline of the person who comes here often. Not like reading your mind, but like remembering a useful shape. Calm people and sudden people do not look the same from a fence. A sharp arm movement can matter more than a quiet footstep. Watch where the crow looks when your hands change what is in the yard. Food is not just food to a crow, it is also a map point. It may wait until you step back before testing the ground. That hesitation is not insult, it is how a wild bird stays alive. Before crossing open lawn, a crow may check every escape line. The hedge, the roof, and the fence may all be part of its decision. The next thing a crow may notice is when you usually appear. Some mornings the crow is there before the feeder lid even opens. It may not know the hour, it knows the sequence. Light in the kitchen, door latch, footsteps, then seed. To a watching crow, the quietest sounds can become useful warnings. Researchers have shown crows can remember human faces, but your yard shows it simply. The familiar person may get a watchful pause. The stranger gets a sharper stare. A raised head, tight body, and still feet can say, "I am deciding." A calmer crow may keep watching, but it does not have to flee. With crows, trust may look like staying just long enough to keep learning. But change one object and the whole yard can feel different. The crow may stop at the old perch and study what was moved. It is not suspicion of everything. It is caution around the unfamiliar. A small bird may grab a seed and vanish. The crow may keep studying. One of the best clues is where the crow looks after you move. If your hand reaches for the same container, the crow may notice first. The lid opening may matter before a single seed appears. Then comes the question the crow cares about. Are you leaving space? A quiet step back can be more convincing than any attempt to invite it. Crows may also remember who brings noise into the yard. A slammed gate can teach faster than a full feeder can reassure. For a wild bird, one bad surprise can change tomorrow's distance. Notice whether the crow uses the same perch or chooses one farther away. If the yard becomes quiet again, the old fence may slowly matter again. Sometimes one crow is not the only one learning your yard. Crows pay attention to each other, especially around food and risk. The bold one may test the lawn, while the cautious one keeps the roof. Even smart birds do not all choose the same answer. Your driveway can be part of the crow's notebook, too. The car door closes, the gate opens, and the yard is about to change. A bag of seed in your hand may say more than your footsteps. Crows may notice whether you carry seed, tools, water, or nothing. A tool can make a calm person look larger and less predictable. But a watering can, moved slowly, may become part of ordinary garden life. A bird bath can teach a crow who keeps water reliable. It may wait until the yard is empty before stepping down to drink. Even a window can become part of what the crow checks. If a cat appears there, the yard may feel different immediately. After a long stare, watch whether the crow lowers its body or leaves. Flying away is not failure. It is the crow choosing safety. Sometimes the crow notices what you notice too late. A moving shadow. When the yard goes still, the crow may be reading the sky. A silent yard is not always empty. Sometimes everything is waiting. When the calls stop, look first at the crow's head and the open sky. When danger passes, sound often returns before the yard looks busy again. Over time, a crow may sort people into safer and less safe categories. Safer does not mean loved like a pet. It means less likely to cause trouble. The most convincing signal may be doing ordinary things without chasing. If you want to watch crows, let the yard be interesting without demanding anything. Try this simple test. Does the crow stay, watch, or leave? Staying means your movement did not cross its line today. Watching means the crow has not decided yet. Leaving means the answer was clear enough for the bird to choose distance. The useful question is not only what the crow did, but where you were standing. A few calm mornings may move the watching line a little closer, but if you rush the moment, the line can move back in 1 second. The kindest correction is simple. Stop, turn slightly away, and give space. A crow may notice not just where food appears, but what happens afterward. It may check the cat window, the dog path, and the nearest cover. Only after that does the crow step into the open. Even while eating, part of the crow is still watching the yard. That is why a crow can make a backyard feel watched back. Not because it knows your secrets, but because it notices your habits. Smaller birds may learn routines too, but crows often seem to hold a wider picture. The crow is one neighbor among many, just more difficult to ignore. Tomorrow, watch the perch before you watch the feeder. Then notice whether it turns before you reach your usual path. Watch its eye line when your hand reaches for seed or tools. Notice whether it arrives after your sounds or before them. If something moved yesterday, see whether the crow gives it extra space. And after a loud day, check whether the old perch stays empty. Your best signal is not a trick. It is being predictable and unthreatening. The goal is not to make a crow yours. It already belongs to the wild. But for a few minutes, your routines and its routines may overlap, and when it returns to the same fence, the yard feels a little less ordinary. You may never know exactly what it remembers, and that is part of the wonder. What you can know is this: the crow is paying attention. A quiet backyard person can become one of the safer patterns in its day. Not a friendship like ours, but a small agreement made of distance and routine. If a crow watches your yard, tell us what it seems to notice first.